government was to put our finances back in order after the last government lost control. That is...
Keir Starmer likely never anticipated a moment quite like this inside Parliament. He entered the chamber with his trademark composure and left visibly deflated. In a striking exchange, Kemi Badenoch delivered a takedown so incisive that every attempt Starmer made to recover only deepened the embarrassment. The room erupted laughter, gasps, uneasy glances. Even some Labour MPs struggled to keep straight faces. But it was Badenoch's next line that sealed the moment. It didn't just silence Starmer, it dismantled his entire argument, right there on the parliamentary floor. So, what exactly did she say that left the Prime Minister stunned and exposed? Let's break it down.
Does the Prime Minister now admit that he was wrong to remove the winter fuel payment from millions of pensioners?
It might sound measured, even reasonable, but make no mistake, it's the political equivalent of a smiling bullet. Here's the reality. Keir Starmer's government quietly scrapped the winter fuel payments, a vital support system that helped millions of pensioners survive the coldest months of the year. These payments, worth between £200 and £300 per person, weren't just figures on a balance sheet. They represented warmth, safety and dignity for around 9 million elderly Britons. And the manner in which it was done is telling. No announcement, no public explanation, no parliamentary debate. The decision was executed quietly, right after the election. Experts now warn that without this support, up to 4,000 elderly people could die from the cold this winter. Think about that. Thousands of grandparents left to suffer in silence because the help they relied on was taken away. This wasn't just a policy shift. It was a deliberate choice with profound human consequences.
Minister. Mr. Speaker, the number one job of this government was to put our finances back in order after the last government lost control. That is, and to deal with the 22 billion black hole that they left. Because of our action, we've stabilised the economy, we've invested record amounts in the NHS, with a payment out for 3 million lowest paid, and of course we're committed to the triple lock, which improved pensions by £470 last year. And Mr. Speaker, because of the work that we've done, we're a country that countries like India want to do deals with because of it.
Even members of Starmer's own party couldn't suppress their laughter. They knew he wasn't being truthful. Stripped of its polished rhetoric, his message was effectively this: asterisk, let the pensioners freeze, we've got a spreadsheet to balance. Asterisk. Starmer spoke of a so-called £2 billion black hole, using it as justification for cutting lifelines to the elderly. But that financial gap wasn't created by pensioners or by the NHS. It was the product of years of political mismanagement and large-scale tax avoidance among the elite. And now, rather than holding those at the top accountable, he expects the most vulnerable to shoulder the cost. He hasn't fixed the economy, he's extinguished the nation's fireplace and told pensioners to stay warm with hope. But Kemi Badenoch wasn't about to let him get away with it.
Mr. Speaker, the only black hole is the one the Prime Minister is digging. This issue affects some of the poorest and most vulnerable pensioners. His mayor in Doncaster says it's wrong. His First Minister in Wales says it's wrong. Even his own MPs are saying it's wrong. He's refused to listen to me on this. Will he at least listen to his own party and change course?
Kemi Badenoch dragged the debate back to where it truly belongs, beyond statistics and political spin, to the harsh reality of people's lives, their struggles, and the deep sense of betrayal they now feel. And that betrayal isn't just coming from the Conservatives, it's emerging from within Starmer's own party. More than 50 Labour MPs, many representing Northern and Midlands constituencies, have openly pushed back. Even his own MP from Doncaster has broken ranks. The Welsh First Minister has pleaded for a U-turn, while Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey has joined the growing chorus of outrage. Keir Starmer's grip on his own movement is slipping. In the latest local elections, Labour lost nearly 2/3 of the seats they had fought to keep a stark warning that public patience is wearing thin.
More significant threats to the possibility of a reform government, because if Labour actually wake up to the obvious, what's so obvious to the rest of us, which is that this guy is utterly unelectable next time round, and they actually put in someone rather better to lead the party, then maybe, just maybe, the Labour Party's fortunes will begin to pick.
In Runcorn and Helsby, Reform UK managed to overturn a staggering 15,000 Labour majority by just 6 votes, a razor-thin margin, but a powerful message. Voters, particularly pensioners, turned out in force. Their frustration was clear. They haven't forgotten the cold winters or the even colder excuses coming from Starmer's Labour Party.
Well, I think what the voters up and down the country, particularly in Labour heartlands, are saying we'd actually like to change the government and let's have a general election, because, I mean, this is a staggering collapse of a government in just 10 months. I mean, this seat that we've just won, it's the equivalent of winning Hackney South from Diane Abbott.
Right.
And that's the sort of context we're talking about here. And voters have basically reject the lies of the Labour Party, and they've essentially sort of put even deeper into the bin the Tory Party, and people are absolutely raging mad about.
In Parliament, Kemi Badenoch confronted Starmer with an uncomfortable truth, questioning his moral judgment as he appeared unmoved by policies that could leave thousands of elderly Britons at risk in the freezing cold.
Mr. Speaker, let's spell this out. All the parties opposite would take this country back to where it was a few years ago. Broken public finances, interest rates through the roof, NHS waiting lists at all-time high. Because no other party in this House is prepared to say how they would put the finances straight. No other party is saying how they would invest in our NHS and public services. No other party is focused on the long-term prosperity of Britain. No one on this side, Mr. Speaker, is denying how big the challenges that we face, but no one on that side of the House is even prepared to take those challenges on.
Mr. Speaker, we wouldn't balance it on the backs of pensioners.
That single line deserves to be on billboards across the nation. While Starmer deflects and dodges responsibility, Kemi Badenoch stands her ground, guided by moral clarity and conviction. She cuts through the political spin and economic jargon, speaking directly to the truth. In contrast, Starmer is left exposed and silent cornered, much like the pensioners his government has so readily abandoned.
Pensioners are poorer and colder because of his decisions. All the while, energy has got more expensive for everyone. Why has the Prime Minister broken his promise to cut energy bills by $300?
That single line deserves to be on billboards across the nation. While Starmer deflects and dodges responsibility, Kemi Badenoch stands her ground, guided by moral clarity and conviction. She cuts through the political spin and economic jargon, speaking directly to the truth. In contrast, Starmer is left exposed and silent cornered, much like the pensioners his government has so readily abandoned.
Mr. Speaker, the way to bring energy bills down for good is to deliver cheap, clean, homegrown energy. And in the meantime, we've extended the Warm Homes discount to 6 million households, 1 in 5 families. That's £150 off the bills next winter. But what won't bring energy bills down is the Leader of the Opposition.
The reality is stark. Starmer's obsession with net zero targets and energy strategies drawn up in corporate boardrooms has left British families paying the highest energy bills in Europe, despite record spending on renewables. It's a troubling blend of arrogance and mismanagement. Yet, astonishingly, Starmer attempted to equate the use of fossil fuels with supporting Vladimir Putin, as if wanting affordable energy for British households were somehow an act of disloyalty.
Policy, leaving us hooked on fossil fuels at the mercy of dictators like Putin. I'll tell you what else won't bring bills down. It's them blocking every infrastructure that's needed in their own backyards. they balanced the books, they crashed the economy on the backs of millions of working people in this country. That's why they delivered the verdict they did at the last general election.